American football in Finland.
The voice in your ears and the face on your screen. I'm Perfect Pervis, and this is American Football in Finland. Today, I'm joined by my co-host, Coach Q. What up, Q?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We back.
Back at it again. The AFF podcast is available everywhere you listen to your podcast. You can see us visually here on YouTube, wherever you listen to watch. Be sure to subscribe, follow, and like us. Anyone who listens but doesn't hit that button, we know you're a hater, and that's cool. But before we get on with the show, I want to talk about that line because my daughter has heard that line so much. She started her own podcast on her little tablet, and on her podcast, sorry. On her podcast, she says, if you don't hit the button, you're a hater, and I'm going to come to your house and beat you up.
No. Wow.
Oh, man. I'm tearing up. It's so funny.
She's like, these threats, these real threats.
So just let y'all know, if you're a hater, you can hate on our podcast and we're going to let you slide, but if you ever hear Ellen Rose on the podcast, she's not going for it. Oh, sorry. All right, it's first down. This is where we get to talk about what's on our mind. Still crying from that because it's hilarious. It's ridiculous. But I got like one thing I really want to talk about. So I'll let you go first, Q. What's new or what's something you want to talk about?
Oh no, man, football back, man. NFL started back, so it was good to watch that. You know what I'm saying? Finally, I've been watching all these camp highlights, and I'm like, man, I need to see some real plays, some real games. You know what I'm saying? So I feel good to know we back in football in like NFL football season. So,
what do you think about the Shador Sanders situation? That's the only thing I really like drama wise. I'm seeing in the NFL.
I mean, coming in where he came in at, drafted the way he was drafted, his chances of getting in that first two spots. I don't think a lot of people understand how hard it is to get there, even if you play good in camp.
Yeah.
Like it has to make sense, you know what I'm saying, for the organization. It's gotta make sense for what they're trying to do. You know what I'm saying? And it makes sense when it comes to contracts that other people have that's in that room. You know what I'm saying?
If I'm paying this man $40 million, I'm paying you $2.
Yeah,
he gonna get the reps.
So I think he's definitely one of the most talked about draft picks ever, probably. But yeah, it's interesting to see like what's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying with him, and a lot of people saying trade. Some people saying, you know what I'm saying, the Browns need to make him the starter, but also those people don't run the company. So it sounds good, but it gotta make sense. So yeah, that's my little 2 cents on it.
I like the idea of a trade, but I think it's one of those situations where, like, if he actually plays well, like, I don't know, just thinking about it now, if you have the other guy who's making more money, if you just sit him during preseason, have Shador go out there play really well, that gives him more value in a trade because you're not actually going to play him, and they both would be your number 2 anyways. I don't know. Maybe if the Browns are listening to this, that take heed of what we said. And shout out to Jesse Aaron B-Day saying, "What's up, guys? Awesome podcast."
He always showing love. What up, Jesse?
Yeah, we appreciate all the comments, guys. Y'all keep sending those things. But what I want to talk about a little bit, and I said it earlier before we got on the show, is that first down might be a little bit longest. I want to take this time to congratulate the Helsinki Wolverines ladies team as they are the 2025 Naisten Vateraliga champions. I can't say it all in Finnish. I tried. But I went to the game this weekend, got to see them play against the Trojans. We talked about it in the group chat, and I'm gonna try to give you guys my honest opinion of what I saw and how it went down. But ultimately, I was disappointed in the lack of like points and scoring going on. And I know both teams apparently had like top defenses or something like that, but the Wolverines threw 0 passes in the entire game.
Whoa.
They threw 0 passes. And crazy part was someone asked me at halftime, like over under if the Wolverines would throw 5 passes. And I was like, under. They don't need to throw a pass. They're gonna score eventually because they just keep, hammering that wall, getting yards. Kusin, she basically what I called her is if you haven't watched the women's games, think about Tom Suwosti. And that's kind of back that she kind of is. And imagine what happens the years in the past when we seen when Suwosti, when you just keep giving him the ball, like it's going to eventually work out. That's how Tutti was. And I only make that comparison because I know a lot of the people that are listening haven't seen the women's game. So they don't know like what I'm talking about when I say the running back Tutti. Gotcha. Like she had a lot of carries, but you need to kind of know like what kind of back she is. And that's kind of what she resembles, and her playing style is very similar. Also, I want to talk about this game as much as I can, is that I think I was rooting for the Trojans. Like we said before, like we know more players on that team. You got Nana, Tia Janssen, even the actual offense coordinator, Kirsty, or maybe she's the head coach this year. I'm not sure. But Leah, Kazas, like I could name half of their team. So like I was watching, hopefully they're doing well. But really just have to give shout outs to some of these Wolverine players that I saw in this game. I looked up some of their stats just to make sure. But obviously, Tucson in the running back, she had 33 attempts for 157 yards and had 2 touchdowns. And it was a situation where they just kept giving this girl the ball. And shout out to the Wolverines offensive coordinator for not deviating. Because you know how it gets. You get to you're in the game, you're like, man, let's sprinkle in a pass here or let's hand it to someone else. They did give a couple of their like fullbacks and the backup running back a couple touches, maybe like 10 to 12, but out of 60 plays, I want to say, 30 runs by her. No, it had to be more like 50 plays because they only had like 10 other carries from other people. But she was really impressive in this game. But also on the defensive side for the Wolverines, their defensive line, I don't know all the numbers or the people, but their defensive line was in the backfield all day. Like there's a reason that the Trojans offense never really got anywhere. The quarterback was constantly under pressure. When they tried to run the ball up the middle, they didn't get nowhere. When they tried to run the ball sideline to sideline, the Wolverines defense was fast. Like sideline to sideline, they couldn't outrun them. You've seen the Trojans offense did a lot of different things to try to like make plays. And it just, the Wolverines was solid at every position. One of their DBs, Nellie Malk, she was number 13.
Oh, yeah. I seen she had a nice pick. Yeah.
She had 4 tackles. She had four PBUs and 2 interceptions. And like the first interception, good interception. But the second one, she laid out to get that interception. It was a dope interception. And she was making plays. Again, she's one of the better DBs in the league. So it was really good to see her in action. And then another player I want to talk about, in my opinion, and again, this might be contrary to what actually went down from what I watched, easily the best player in this game. And that's taking Tutti aside because Tutti has so many carries. Like, she should be the best player. But Emma Yarn, number 11, played linebacker. I don't know where her stats – the stats are off because the stats say 5.5 tackles, 0.5 tackles for loss. Get out of here. Anything that happened, number 11 was there. Anytime they tried to run the ball, number 11 was there. When they were passing the ball, number 11 was either in coverage. She stopped a couple passes just like being in the way. I don't think she got PBUs for them, but she like no one was open. And then there was times where if someone did catch the pass, they got tackled immediately. Guess who made the tackle? Number 11. And she was right, like she was all over that field, and it was impressive to see her like work from that position. It basically had her like middle linebacker, and her job was get to the ball. And she did exactly that every play, got to the ball. It was very impressive. And then, and that's kind of how the game went. On the other side, there were some pretty decent performances by the Trojans as well. I'm gonna call her your girl because you called out last time, Tia Janssen.
Yes, sir.
She had 2 catches for 42 in the game. She had one really long one that like set them up where they could have had a chance to score, and she actually scored a touchdown that would have, like, with 5 minutes left in the game, would have made it like, okay, it's about to go down. But there was a penalty, or a hold, or pass interference, something. There was a penalty that brought it back, so she didn't get that. But she looked like a star, and she was out there wearing 86, like you said.
Yeah.
I think what I saw was probably like a one-off of her playing on the line, because they actually had a lot of linemen on the sideline who weren't playing in the game. So maybe during the season she did that. But in this game, she was number 86. And when she was in there, couldn't nobody guard that girl. It just wasn't possible. Exactly. Couldn't do nothing with her. Just unfortunate she didn't get enough like targets or decent throws to make a big difference in the game for them. Again, the quarterback was constantly under pressure, so couldn't really set her feet and throw it to her. Another group that I want to give a little bit of a shout out to here on the pod is the Trojans linebackers. I know the game didn't go the way they wanted to, but that group, they were in for a dogfight the entire time. That group for the Trojans, very good, like solid group of, they have good technique, they look strong, they know how to get off blocks, but the Helsinki Wolverines were rotating like 8 offensive linemen. By the time it got to like third or fourth quarter, you could see the difference. Like the Wolverines, they're still going at them, and the Trojans defense was just like, we trying, but there's only so much we could do. Like the fact that they only scored 12 points, Trojans defense played good enough to win. Yeah. Offense didn't play good enough to win. That's all it went down to. So shout out to the entire Trojans defense, I think did well, but that linebacker core, a lot of times the Wolverines offensive line was getting to the second level. Meaning a lot of times, I don't know the number 5 and number 9. I know number 9 is Nana, but number 5 and number 9 were constantly having to shed blocks from offensive linemen, which is very hard to do when you're reading the play. It's not like they were blitzing and hitting them with force. They're reading the play and they look up and there's a huge lineman running full speed at you, and they're running power football. So you got to get off that block and then tackle a bowling ball. And they were up to the challenge. Like they did a really good job. They slowed them down enough that they didn't score that often. The two scores were 2 kind of big plays that Tutti had, where she just burst up through a hole, got a touchdown. But overall, their offense just wasn't good enough for them to really be in the game. But only giving up 2 scores to that kind of game for 4 quarters, I might have to still go off to them. But ultimately, the game was boring to watch for me because I wanted to see, high flying and stuff. But it was more like a little league game, because the 2 teams were so evenly matched that you knew it was going to come down to someone doing something mundane and tedious to win. And that's what the Wolverines did. They were like, we're not going to leave this game to chance. I think it had a lot to do with a couple of years ago when they did lose 8-7 very closely. And they're like, we're not going to let that ever happen again. We're just going to stick to what's working and keep doing it. So, yeah, that's my spiel. Congrats to them. Glad they're the champions now. So now we have a new champion. So that means next year should be even more interesting. Yeah. And that'll be first down for us. All right, let's get into last week's games. Let's talk about some key player performances from this weekend. All stats aside, these are players who deserve recognition for their play last week. We'll give players 1, 2, or 3 helmet stickers depending on their performance. Start with 1 sticker performances. Do you have any, Q? I feel like this year we've done this enough that you started to give a couple more stickers than normal. Last year, barely gave anybody anything.
Yeah. I try not to be too critical depending on the game, but I actually have a lot of people this week to give stickers to.
Okay.
One, I'll just say if we're doing one sticker,
I got a couple.
Yeah, you probably got more one stickers than me. I got a lot of two stickers though. I got a lot of two stickers, but man. Yeah, you go. You give your one
Okay,
stickers.
it's fine.
I got more two
I'll
stickers.
stick to the one stickers.
Yeah.
First one sticker I wanted to give out Chase McCoy, defensive tackle for the Tampa Bay Saints. Apparently, he had one tackle in the game, but I actually spent a lot of time watching the offensive line in this game when he played against the Crocs to see who he was going against and how well he was doing, and he had no problem. Like, he was getting in the backfield. He put up a lot of pressure. I don't know why he only had one tackle. I thought he had a sack in his game. Again, stats are stats, but what I saw was number 68 putting in work in one of the hardest positions to do. He's oftentimes double teamed, and he was able to split the double team a lot in this game. So I'm giving him a star just so people know that he out there putting in work, and we see you, Chase. Another guy, Jaakko Jokinen from the Roosters, number 20. Stats, he has a tackle and a half and one interception. Pretty much just giving this man a sticker because, he just keeps showing up out there. He got an interception early in the game against the Royals. Right place, right time, but that's what he's been doing all year. So you get one sticker from me. Another Rooster I got on here, Christer Berg, number 94, another defensive tackle. Like I said, I've been watching Lion play. Like that when Lions are playing against certain people, I'm watching to see how they play. And Christer Berg, he was dominant, but they did a lot of rotating for the Roosters. And again, I stopped actually watching after the second quarter. Once it was 21-0, I stopped paying attention. But at the end of the game, he had 3.5 tackles, 2.5 tackles for loss, 1 sack. But what I saw was up front, he was dominating no matter who he was going against. So I just want to give him a sticker so people understand that the D tackles are playing in this league. Last guy, Ville Hamalainen, number 24, running back for the Roosters, had 49 yards, 2 touchdowns. Him and Lassie they shared a running back role, but he did a lot of the grunt work this time. It looked like he was kind of getting a lot of the short yard situations, helping them move the chains. Yeah, red zone, especially with the 2 touchdowns, and just giving him a sticker because we got to realize that he is an important part to their offense. So those are my one sticker guys. Just a couple of names you probably should remember. Let's go to 2 stickers for you, Q. Who you got out there? Name a couple.
I'm gonna start off with the Crocs, number 89, Jabril Alamain. Had 2 big touchdowns to turn pretty much I don't say momentum, but to keep the Crocs in the game. I'll say that. 2 big touchdowns, 2 great catches. The type of plays you need to make when you're on the team. You know what I'm saying? He's a high intensity guy. So making those plays just did a lot to put them in a position to win the game. Also, a two sticker performance. I gave Brandon Lyles, the quarterback of the Crocs. First half probably offense. He probably wished the offense went a little better than it did, but he stayed with it. Made some great throws. 2 of those touchdowns, like we said, to Jabril, and then one to one of the other receivers. But he stayed in there and stayed consistent and he hit when he needed to hit. I mean, just perfect balls, perfect TDs. That's what you want in a close game like that. Your quarterback pretty much took charge of the game and made sure that they was in a position to win the game. So shout out to Brandon Lyles for his performance. Another 2 stickers, Zach Wright. Another 2 stickers game. I believe he had a pick 6. Oh no, not a pick 6. Return for a touchdown. Also, strip, I believe it was. Yeah, I think it was a strip. But anyway, Zach Wright's presence, obviously on the field, man, is every week he's doing something to make sure that his name is on the stat sheet for this team winning the game. So Zach Wright with a 2-star. I gave Jesse and Collier 2 stars. That's the combination that Jesse's been needing that receiver.
Oh, I got their stats. I got their stats. Let me throw their stats
go ahead.
out.
Get to them real quick.
Jesse had 280 yards passing with 56 completion percentage. He had 3 touchdowns. He ended up with 2 interceptions. Collier had 8 receptions, 114 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I had Collier on my 3. He's my only 3-sticker performance. The only person I gave 3 stickers because he also played safety during this game.
Yeah.
You got to remember, he was playing both ways. He just got there, played both ways, and he was active all around the field. But you go ahead and continue. Sorry about that.
Yeah, so as Pervis just said, he showed you the stats. That's the reason why I gave both of them 2 stars together. Also, another 2-star, Lucas Erla. Man, another game of people taking him lightly, man. You can go ahead and get his stats because I know you about to.
I don't have the stats. It was 21-0, and I turned it off in the first. And in the 21, I think Lucas had scored, and then I think Christian Powell had scored, and then Zach Wright ran off on the punt return. So I didn't even see the offense after that. I was like, it's over now. So I don't have his stats. I'm sorry because I was like,
Lucas hit him. I think at least 2 or 3 times. At least 2.
Yeah, he probably scored a lot more.
Yeah, Lucas Erla, 2-star. I hate to give Christian Arabide a 2-star, but it's like I'm docking him for who they playing, but I know I shouldn't because he's still like at this point he can't miss. At this point, it doesn't matter who he throw the ball to, he can't miss. He's showing up every week. They putting up big numbers, big points. He's getting everybody involved. Christian Arabide
I didn't give anybody.
Really
I didn't give anybody from the Butchers. I didn't give anybody from the Butchers anything. I was like, "Come on, guys! It was 21-0 in the first quarter." Like,
I still got to show him love, man. Just seeing Christian Arabide on the sideline, man, his facial expressions. It don't matter who they playing. This dude is all business, man. All business. Like he came in there. I'm trying to beat everybody. I'm trying to score as many points as possible. You can just tell he's the type of quarterback you want to play.
Listen to this. I got the stats up. Lucas Erla had 2 receptions, 91 yards, 2 touchdowns. 100%. He ain't playing no games. Now, Christian Arabide was 11 for 15 with 4 tutties, 278 yards, and 1 interception. He had a 73% completion. He probably like 65 or up on the season. Like and he's not just like dinking and dunking again. Like when you throw it to Lucas Erla, you airing it out, and he's doing that on a regular basis, once or twice a game.
The man threw a Brett Favre sidearm touchdown, man, out there to Lucas Erla. I was like, at this point, y'all gotta do stuff. Y'all gotta whoever, like for the rest of the season, like I just see him, you know what I'm saying, taking off more than what he's doing now, man. But I could have gave him a 3-star for that performance, though. It was just I took a star off because of who they played. But Christian Arabide, still a great game. Another 2-star. I gave Lashley Pardonen a 2-star performance.
I got his stats.
Yeah, go ahead.
I got his stats. He had 110 yards rushing, 1 touchdown, but he had 51 yards receiving and another touchdown. So he finished with over 150 total all-purpose yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, he's becoming a man. He's already a man. I'm just saying he's becoming his own name and his own brand, man. So shout out to Lassie for the performance he had. And
did you see a celebration though? The celebration you saw where they did the spray can thing.
Yeah,
they were spray painting. That was pretty dope. I like that.
Yeah, that was dope.
He's done a couple celebrations. I think he had a little dance a couple of weeks ago in the back of the end zone or something too. So I like that he has a little a little entertainment to him.
Yeah. But that's probably birth of my 2 stars.
All right, so let me go down my list. My 2 stars, I got from the Crocodiles, Tylen Riley Coleman. I didn't put Akana on the list because I assumed that you were going to put him on the list.
I was going to, man. I was going to, and he really is in my notes because he was all over the place too.
Yeah, that's the only reason I didn't. Only reason I didn't put him on, I was like, he's definitely going to say something about him. But sticking back to Riley Coleman, he had 2.5 tackles, 1.5 tackle, half a sack. he was very active, and I'll talk about another person later of why I have him on this 2 sticker because he had a very good matchup that he went against as well. Next guy I have is Raul Khalifa from the Royals. I'm putting these two together, Raul Khalifa and Alpha Jallo from the Royals. Khalifa led the Royals in tackles with 7.5, had 3 PBUs. Alpha was the second in tackles. He had 6 of them and 1 forced fumble. Number 8 and number 10 did everything they could for the Royals defense. They did everything they could for this defense to have any type of chance. There was a lot of passes thrown where I saw Khalifa put his hand up and stop a pass. He had one where it actually was a pat down. It wasn't a PBU, it was a pat down. And then you have Alpha throwing his whole body on the line for most of the game. Even got into it with offensive linemen from the Roosters at one point. That was crazy, but I saw it. And he literally took the ball from somebody while they were running with it and then almost scored. And I was at the game, so you don't know how much and how scary it is when Alpha has the ball. When he pulled out of there was an audible gasp in the stands, which is mostly just Roosters because all the Royals fans was on the other side. So on the home side, you just heard from everybody at the same time. When he started, it looked like he was just going to run off. Which also to put out there, y'all need to put some respect on Bryce Nunnally speed because
my boy, hey, Bryce Nunnally, no sir, I was surprised. I kid you not, I've never seen nobody run with run. I ain't gonna say run down Alpha because they didn't start in the same position, but Bryce
Nunnally
got
angle.
The speed,
he had the angle, but you had to have the speed to make that angle work. It's still hard too because he breaks angles all the time. But those two guys, I think they played really well on defense. Yeah, and overall, I don't think their defense was bad per se. We'll talk about it when we talk about the game, but I think their offense put them in the situation of you can't win from this. Next guy I got for two sticker performance from the Crocodiles. Eustace Vertanen, number 9, had 8 receptions, 112 yards. I know you had Jabril as making those big plays and helping them come back, but I would say the reason that offense continued to move was Eustace making big catches throughout the drive. That's how they got down the field a lot of times and got in position to make bigger plays for both the running back and number 89 later on. So Eustace was still the glue to that offense. So it looked really good to me this week. Another guy I got 2 stars for 2 stickers is Kimi Tuomi, the tight end from the Saints. Had 4 receptions, 73 yards, 1 touchdown. Let's just say, again, put some respect on that man's speed.
Yeah,
that first play.
Again.
Gosh. Like we said last time, you got to be fast to run away from somebody like Zach Wright. But, I mean, he was on the sideline. There was 3 people that had angles. And he's like, nah, F all that. Ain't going to be no angles today. I'm out of here. Yeah. He got a stride on him. Someone let me know if he ever ran track or something because, to be that big, you ain't able to be able to move like that. He was galloping. He was out there. But he looked really good. He had a couple more catches later in the game as well, timely catches, doing some over-the-middle stuff. But looked good to me. It's always good to see him. And he's definitely rising up on my list as one of the top tight ends, kind of like what we heard before the season, which is crazy because normally when people tell us before the season this person will be this or that, take him 2 years to get there. But he's doing really well already. Last guy I have for 2 sticker performance, this is going to go back to the Tyler and Riley Coleman comparison, is the Saints left tackle, Tyler Thomas Klukas Warren. That's a mouthful of a name. He's number 65. And again, before this game, we'll go into the game how do you stop Charles O'Connell and Riley Coleman? You know what the Saints did? Put this left tackle on this side, and if either one of them came over there, mano y mano, he did the damn thing. When me and you were talking about the game in the chat, you were saying it was 14-0 Saints. I'm like, I don't know how that's possible because they shouldn't be able to get off any passes. But when I went and actually watched the game, if you watch the game, whenever Charles or Thailand are on the left side, they don't get there as fast. Now, there's a couple times where, yeah, they won and they beat that matchup, but compared to what they've done to everyone else in this league, he was able to mano these guys where I've said it before, you have to have a really good tackle and then a tight end on the other side. The Saints started off using tight end against Coleman. And I was like, that's not going to work out because you got your mano on Akano. But this guy did a really good job. Like, he did a really good job slowing down Akano, slowing down Coleman. But they both also did a good enough job of getting theirs when they needed to as well. And you saw that even later in the game, the Crocodiles changed it to putting Akano at linebacker and having him blitz up the middle because it was an easier route for him to get to the quarterback. And he got back there a lot quicker because over there on that left side, I'm 65 wasn't having it. So I'm giving him 2 stars because of the competition that he went against. Like, legitimately, this one game could easily make him the best left tackle in the league. And if you don't believe me, go watch the film. Like, that was an impressive performance to be able to play 4 quarters against that caliber of ends successfully. And when they started moving him, he was still able to hold his own. And, I mean, that even goes to, if you look on the other side of the ball, the Crocodiles were moving their linemen because they were getting pressure from McCoy and other guys. And they weren't able to hold their own. They had to move. They had number 71 on their side, move back and forth. But that's a whole nother thing about the game. But back to this, Tyler Thomas Clucas Warren, 2-sticker performance. Shout out to him. I don't know if he's even been there all season because I don't know if I've been watching their O-line that much, but I do know he's there now, and I look forward to seeing him the rest of the season. Did you have any 3-sticker performances?
No, I didn't. It was too hard for me to just say whose performances, really warranted that. Besides, I mean, yeah, no, I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah. Logan Collier was the only person I would have gave 3 stars to, but we already talked about him enough, so we're good to go. All right. All right, we all know what happened on the scoreboard from last week, but let's go win or loss, how we think it went down for these games. Which, I mean, I think it should be an easy week. First game, Port Blue Butchers versus East City Giants. Who won or lost this one for you, Q?
Man, Port Blue won is fair and square. Not even a chance of any type of conversation to say otherwise. But like we kind of said when we was talking about the sticker performances, Portable is just a lot to deal with, man. It's a lot to deal with, and most teams don't have the capability to even try to contain it. Like I said, Christian Arambide is having an amazing season, along with the rest of the cast on that team, offense and defense. It's like every week. We even got to see Miko Seppinen show them young legs out there too. So
I'm glad you said that. I was just about to say, you see Miko put him in the dishwasher.
Yeah,
that juke
hey,
on
I
him.
was
Oh
happy.
boy,
I got excited,
look
man.
good out there, Miko.
I said Miko Seppinen like the vet receiver basically in my eyes. And but to see him like get the ball and go in and dig back out and like get back out of there, I was like, oh, okay, he's still, you know what I'm saying? We don't get to see him showcase a lot because they got so much on the team. But yeah, the Butchers, man, they healthy, and I always believe the healthiest teams make it further, and they healthy, they executing. Obviously their chemistry is on point right now. So with the quarterback play and the running back play and just all over the team, the Butchers are getting better and better as teammates. They're not getting challenged on the football field, but I feel like as a team, their chemistry is coming together with these wins and just seeing each other have success. I know that plays a big part in the confidence that they have going into these games. But yeah, it's fair and square. Butchers won. They're just 1,000 times better than ECG.
Yeah. I got nothing to say about that game. Moving on to the the actual game of the week. Hey, you know what? Let's save that. Let's go to the next one. We'll skip that and use
You
that as the
skip
last
down
one.
to come back.
Yeah, let's go to the Helsinki Roosters versus Wausau Royals. Another, dominant performance. Who do you think won or lost it? Semantics.
Yeah. Yeah. I said last week that the Roosters the game wouldn't go the way it did the first time. Because
Mm-hmm.
I just know like the Roosters organization and their team and coaches, they knew that they didn't play their best against the Royals the first time. So I think with like them having other games that they played and just being put back in this situation, you're on your home field. Ambrose was a lot more comfortable in distributing the ball. And then too, their running game. The running game, like we said, was on point. They finished drives. If you look at it, it's really a full scale game because the Roosters even kicked field goal. They
I
hit
do want to
big.
say one thing though. I want to
Mm,
I want to make a little bit of a point. There was one
mm.
drive where they didn't finish, and I 100% blame our our our, our favorite youngster Santu Vekamaki for
Yeah, but
deciding
not
that
scoring.
he wanted. Yeah, yeah, he was 2 yards away from the end zone,
He
and
was trying
instead
to
of him
stretch.
going, yeah, instead of him going straight, he wanted to try to go around the edge, and then Alpha went and took his legs out, and he fell, and he
Yeah,
couldn't, survive that, and then they didn't score on that drive
yeah,
from the 2 yard line.
yeah,
Good. I mean, shout out to the Royals for holding them, but come on, Santu, just jump
yeah.
over that thing right
He
there.
already he's
I mean,
long. He could just fall in. If he could cut up, he
he
could just
could.
fall in the end zone.
What he got to be at least 195 centimeters. He could just
Yeah,
fall in there, man. Ugh. I mean, it's not really taken away from your point, but it was. I was in the stands. I was like, "Come on, Santu, come on, man!" And
yeah,
we love
yeah,
Santu on this podcast. So I had to throw a little shade towards him for not getting that touchdown, man. I know he was
but
thinking
they,
back his head. Damn it, that was my touchdown.
yeah, but they had just a full scale game. I mean, defense showed up, made plays. Like I said, they started the game off with 2 interceptions, and scored off them. So you just can't start games off like that against the Roosters because that momentum will go and it won't stop. Probably wasn't still their best game or best
Mm-hmm.
performance, but like I said, the running game was on point. Lassie and Vertonine, they I mean, hey, double it was a double combo, man, of just hammering, physical. And what I think happened is, I'll just say this before I'm done. What I think happened was they got the Royals defense off balance. They were gashing them with the run, but then also still throwing the ball. And I mean, Ambrose had receivers wide open like a lot of times that when they were
Yeah.
catching the ball, there was nobody around them. So, yeah, Roosters won fair and square. Royals weren't prepared, obviously, for what they were walking into, and that's pretty much been the story for them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All season, just inconsistent play offensively is gonna put you in a bad predicament on defense. So that's what happened.
It legitimately the first time they played, that was that like week 1 or week 2? The
Yeah,
first
yeah,
time
it
they
was
played?
on. Yeah,
Yeah, it was early in the season. There was a lot to be known. And since then, we've seen the Roosters get better and the Royals stay exactly the same. They I mean, the only thing that changes from the Royals from week to week is do they or do they not have the big plays? And the big plays really depend kind of on who they're playing. Like if you
mm-hmm.
think of like their better games where they have like big plays that separate them, it's against the lesser competition in theory. But I got a couple things I want to say about this game, so this is actually gonna work out. First thing I want to say, what happened to Jacoby Reddick? I just now realized it today. Is he not
I have no
here?
idea. I
He
have
wasn't
no
at the.
idea.
I don't think I saw him at the game. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I was there, but I don't know if I saw him there. That's the first thing I wanted to say. Second thing is, are we still okay with the Royals quarterback throwing an interception almost every first drive?
Woo.
Almost every first drive is an interception, and then he's throwing two, at least one a game, but more often than not, two a game.
Two again. Yeah.
And
It's
I,
just
I
not.
think I,
It's
sp-
just not healthy. It's just
I,
not
I think
healthy.
I spoke to somebody about this at the game as well. Is that I'm okay with you saying, okay, we need to get our guys some experience, but not all experience is good experience. And him going out there and throwing interceptions, and let's look at some of the interceptions that he's throwing. It's not like he's trying to fit a tight ball. He's making common, like, it's cover 2. I'm trying to throw a hole shot on the first
Yeah.
play.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but that doesn't get better with time. That at this, if you're a 19, 20-year-old kid who plays quarterback and you're on the national team and you don't know that you don't throw that ball, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
And then when you look at a lot of the throws that he does, a lot of times it's just him throwing into, like, you shouldn't throw that.
Yeah.
But he's doing it consistently over and over. Now, if as the season goes, he's not making these same mistakes. We're in week 8 and he's making that type of mistake on the first drive. That tells me he's not ready, but also it tells me that they're not getting him ready.
Yeah.
After this game is over, we're watching film and he's like, yeah, that's a bad throw. Okay, next clip. Why are we not figuring out a way to not put him in that position, or at least not make that decision again? And I think that's a disservice to him as a player because you're stunting his development. You're giving him a whole year of, we're just gonna go out there and see what happens, instead of him learning. I don't think that's what's happening on the other side of the ball when you look at the Roosters and how they're bringing along Ambro and how he's doing different things than what he did last year. Like, you can see development and how they're running the offense, how he's making decisions. We're not seeing that from the Royals, nor do I think that we expect to see that. I don't know much about their organization from the inside, but I've never known the Royals to, produce quarterbacks.
Timothy Moore, Brandon Gwinner, Timothy Moore was the only 2 quarterbacks I can remember. That was,
but that's not even production. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, you're not producing them. Those aren't guys that are staying there and learning from your system. While we know in the Roosters, we've had Miro and now we got Ambro, and we know there's probably another youngster sitting in the wings who's like 12 years old right now. That'll be up there in a couple years. So I just don't understand how they keep doing that. So that's all I wanted to say. Last thing I want to say about this game, I don't have a lot on the actual game because you said it all, but shout out to Ami Linfors on that sideline catch that he had early in the game. It's really good to see that young man step into his own this season as a legitimate receiver, actually catching passes instead of just running routes. Because I think he's been in the Maple League for 2-3 years now. And previously, we've seen him running routes out there, but not doing much. And this year, on this team especially, if you want to catch the ball, you got to make a play. Because a quarterback is just throwing up 50-50s. Like, he ain't putting it nowhere where only you – well, he might put it where only you can get it, but you got to go get it. It ain't like he just, hitting people in the hands. And Ami had a really cool catch, so I just want to shout that out on the podcast. So that's it for that. Let's get to the last game, or the most important game. Who was the home team? Was it Tampa the Saints versus Sinayoki Crocodiles? Who do you think won or lost this one? And this would be a difficult one to say, right? Because weren't the Saints up 14-0?
Yeah, Saints up 14. Even in the fourth quarter, I believe it was.
Hold on, I have it written down. It was 14 to 14. No, it was 14 to 14 at the start of the fourth quarter. And later on, it was 21-21 in the fourth. Yeah. The Crocs scored with 4 minutes left. That's when they scored 28-21.
Yeah, so
that's when they took the lead.
How this game ended?
Who won? Who lost? Who won? Who lost?
I'm gonna say the Crocs won. I'm gonna say the Crocs won this game, and I won't say the Saints lost it, because then that would mean that
they gave it to them.
Yeah, like it was expected them to win. And the thing is I've seen a different Saints team in this game. I've seen a different, maybe with the addition of Collier, maybe with Jesse back, and him having somebody confidently to throw the ball to. And like, you see what happens when he has somebody who's, making plays on a consistent basis, what their offense could possibly be, but I commend them for being in this game and really making this a hard win for the Crocs. The only thing that I'll say is that what makes teams better is in situations like what the Saints are in the fourth quarter, where you have an opportunity to win the game, you then have to. It's certain plays that you just cannot give up. And it's certain things that you can't put your defensive players in. It's one thing if you got if you got DBs who you feel like confidently can play 1-on-1. But I'm not sure if the Saints maybe they are, but
I don't
they
think
I
so.
just
I
wouldn't
don't
have.
think so.
I don't think you put your corners for one. I don't think you put them on those type of situations where they have to run all the way down the field by themselves. And
Oh yeah, when he threw that fade, that was tough. The
yeah,
number
Brandon Rouse.
18.
I mean,
Yeah.
Brandon Lyles like pretty much is just playing throw and catch at a point because he felt like my receivers are better than your DBs. And at the end of the day, that's coaching. At the end of the day, the offensive coordinator say, hey, if they give you the one-on-one with him, throw the ball. And that's
Yep.
exactly what was happening. The one touchdown from Alamein, number 6 for the Saints. Great defense. Great
Yeah.
defense. Alamein just made a
Made a
great
play
catch.
that wind
Like
went
he
right
just
over
made
his
a
hand. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, he made like a
Jimenez.
great catch. So, like in those situations, that's 50-50, could go either way. But all in all, the Crocs quarterback, Brandon Lyles, made the plays that he needed to make sure they won that game, and then Sip with the big run in the fourth quarter to pretty much seal it. So, um, yeah, it was just one of them
That's
games
another
where
thing. Also, yeah,
mm,
Sip had a good quietly. He had a really good game. I don't have his stats here. I don't think we gave him any stickers either. But he had like 170 yards or something like that.
yeah, I mean the
He had a
last run
lot.
was yeah, he just
But take
didn't
away
have
that.
to that
Yeah, but he
the
was consistently getting
yeah,
yards. I think that was forcing the Saints defense
yeah,
into, okay, we got to put it in the box. We got to put bodies in there. I think that's something that probably had something to do with them having those situations where those corners are by themselves. Is there? Sip was slowly but steadily getting yards. He was getting 3 or 4 a pop. So you
yeah,
had to respect that run game.
yeah,
Again, that's tough. I'm just throwing that out there. I still agree
yeah,
with what you said. Because in my notes, I'm literally reading my notes. Crocs made more big plays.
yeah, yeah,
That's what it came down to.
yeah.
In a game where I think both teams played great, like I would, both of these teams at the end of the day, I think you played a really good game. I don't think there was a lot of mistakes, but I do think it came down to when you look at how the Crocs scored. Though almost every time they scored, it was a huge play. It
Mm,
wasn't a we drove down. No, it was a huge play. And then when you look at the Saints, they had a couple like big plays, but a lot of times there was a lot of plays where Jesse's running around. And
mm,
again, those are big plays, but they were more, making a play. And it was harder to manufacture those. And at the end of the game, I'm looking at my notes, Sip scored with 4 minutes. So you're down 1 touchdown, 4 minutes left. All of a sudden, for almost the first time in the game, the Saints start running the ball. And they run a whole minute off the clock and then throw a pick.
mm.
So now Crocs can ice it. And you just lost a whole minute of time because instead of getting down the field fast and then slowing down the clock, they thought they were doing a 4-minute drill. Like they had been able to do it all game or something, which they hadn't proven that. They ran the ball maybe 8 times before that, 3 times in that drive, I think, or 2 times in that drive. Ended up with like 11 carries on the day. So that's where I think it comes down, like what you said, like when it comes like to coaching. It's one of those situations where the Saints got in a situation where you need to make a big play late, but you don't need to do it now. And I think they screwed the pooch on that. I also wrote Saints ran out of time. Because if you look at the way the game was going, they probably were going to score. If it wasn't, 3 minutes left in the game, if there was 10 minutes left, they would have stayed in their normal offensive flow, and they probably would have got the ball down the field and scored. But
Yeah,
because of
yeah,
the
you can't.
time, go ahead.
Yeah, and I mean, then they had. I think it was like 3 minutes left or something like that. They threw a pick.
Yeah,
Just
it was 3 minutes.
yeah, it was just a bad time to have a turnover. Bad time to have a
Mm-hmm.
turnover, and yeah, I'm pretty sure the Saints know that they watched this game and was like, God, we're this close. But that's what happens when you're not at that level yet where you understand certain situations in games, and you just
Yeah.
cannot. you just cannot make certain plays have to be made, and then there's certain mistakes that you just can't make. You know what I'm saying? But it's a hard lesson for the Saints. But either way, it was a good game. Like I like it.
Yeah, the last thing I'm gonna say about it before we move on is that before the season, like these two teams were kind of like the teams that I think I was thinking of like the 3-4 combo or 4-5 combo or something like that. But these are the two teams that I thought of as the barometer, mostly because I never can trust the Royals to be consistent. And then this game they just played, that's how I think that should be the standard of what it is in the Maple League. Like there was enough talent, scheme, excitement, and like physicality as well as like fundamental football all in one in this game. Like you saw a lot of everything and it made it worth watching, entertaining, yet also, actual football. It's not all gimmicks and things like that. Like there was some really good plays. You saw a couple plays. Logan Collier, there was that one pass where Jesse threw it and it was way too high. And Logan just jumped up there, grabbed it in between two defenders. And you're like, yeah, I like that. Like it wasn't a touchdown or anything, but it was like normally that'd be a pass that gets tipped. And then you actually had that. When the interception happened, he was trying to throw it to Kimmy Tuomi, and Timmy put back one hand and didn't catch it, tipped it up. Now Tuoko gets an interception. That's the end of the game pretty much. So stuff like that happens, but it's good to see that the way that it happened in this game was more, there wasn't a whole bunch of dropped or tipped passes, or it wasn't a whole bunch of mistakes that made things happen. It was people leveled up and played well in the moment so that a good team won. Like you said at the beginning, Crocs won, but I wouldn't say Saints lost. I would definitely say Crocs won. They deserved to win, and they were the better team that day. But again, I believe both of these teams understood that if they played again tomorrow, nothing's guaranteed. Might
be different.
Both of them, like it could be different. But yeah, that's the games from last week, man. They're pretty good. That one was pretty good, anyways. All right, Maple League teams are back in action this week. We got a full slate of games. Thursday, East City Giants versus Helsinki Roosters. I guess that's the Derby Part 2. And then we have Wolverines versus Tampa Bay Saints on Friday. And the doubleheader Saturday is Kuopio Steelers versus Seinäjoki Crocodiles early, followed by Porvoo Butchers and Vasa Royals for the prime time. So spend a little bit of time talking about each one of these matchups, storyline, key matchup, interesting aspect. First game, East City Giants versus Helsinki Roosters. What do you anything for this?
Oh man, East City Giants right now is just, they're going through the pains, man. Just going through that first year, in there and then with the big dog pains. There's spurts of times where they look, exciting and they make plays, but overall, they're just not making enough plays to compete in these games. And they just don't have the personnel. It's not even really that difficult of a, task. I just think they just don't have the personnel to do it. And when you don't, it's just you can have good plays here and there, but like for the most of the time they're playing reactive and not really assertive. It's just they're reacting to whatever's going on the field, and it's usually a second or two late. And you just can't do that when you're playing on winning games, and especially when your offense isn't consistently scoring and moving the ball. So, yeah, I think it'd be an easy route for the Roosters, though.
Yeah, I think we have maybe 3, maybe 4 weeks left. I don't remember how many weeks left in the season.
Should be 3 now.
3? Yeah, 3 weeks. 3 weeks. Okay, the number's always confusing. So we got like 3 weeks left. I think this is one of those situations where the Roosters are preparing for the playoffs. They're going to be working on things, fine tuning, while I think the EC Giants are just finishing the season. We said it before that they fight hard, they play well in some of these games, And then last week in the game, like I said, it doesn't matter if they win or lose. Like, it really just did not matter what happened. They didn't really show up. And apparently they've had some, issues. There's injuries. Half of their team is probably having to go to the army and stuff like that. School is about to start. People are going on vacation. July is vacation month here. So they probably have a lot of different, I'm going to call them what they are, excuses for why they didn't show up last week, but I don't really care. I think it's a situation. We saw what you're capable of. What you do for the rest of the season doesn't really matter. And I don't say that to like be, condescending, like, oh, your team doesn't matter. I mean it from the point of we never really thought they were going to like be a top team, but we were unsure that they deserved to like be in the league. And they've proven that, yeah, they can hang. Like you said, they just don't have enough now. And I think their whole thought process was get in the Maple League. Can we hang with what we have? I think they can hang. I think they've proven that, but they've also proven that they need a little bit more to be competitive. And I think for the rest of the season, they're gonna finish it out. I don't know how, but I don't see them like, oh, we're gonna go get imports. No, they're not gonna do what the Saints did and bring in reinforcements. They're going to finish with the team they have, try not to have too many injuries, try to build something going into next season. And unfortunately, when you're playing the Roosters, this is another game like the Butchers game. Just don't get hurt and go about your business. And I think most likely at the end of the season, they've got the Wolverines again. So they're definitely going to be excited about that rematch. Then who else do they play? They probably only have 2 more games, I think. I don't know who they have, but this is a game getting them towards the end of the season. That's all I'm going to say about this one. And then we'll move to the next game. Oh, this next one got some teeth to it. Helsinki Wolverines versus Tampa the Saints. Now let's remember. Hold up. Have they played each other? I should have did more research going into
Wolverines
this.
And the Saints?
They haven't played each other, right?
I feel like they have.
Have they? I don't know. I'm trying to remember. I always get confused on like where the leagues and who's played who and what's the because not everybody has played everybody, and the Wolverines have been on a break for like a couple weeks or something, right?
Let's see here.
Yeah, let's look it up. We got time. Ain't no rush because I want to see if they played each other. No, I don't think they have.
That wasn't it.
I don't think they played each other.
Wow.
I'm looking at the Wolverines matches. They play EC Giants, Steelers, Royals, Butchers, Crocodiles, Roosters, and now they're playing the Saints. So they have not played each other.
And what's your what was your interesting aspect?
The Wolverines haven't played since July 17th.
Wow.
Of course, yeah.
It'd be a good thing or bad thing.
Oh man, I mean, like, I guess the real storyline is: are the Saints better? I guess that's really all you want to know.
I believe they are. I believe they are. I believe they're better than the Wolverines.
Oh, I just meant better in general, but yeah, okay, better than Wolverines.
Yeah, I think I think the Wolverines have the ability to make this a game. Like, I'm not saying that they like much better. I'm just saying if I had to look at if the Saints played like they played yesterday, like this weekend, then they'll be better than the Wolverines because the Wolverines, the position that would change the game is quarterback, and the Saints have a better quarterback. I feel like at the end of the day, Jesse would do more damage than, so it's going to be hard too for the Wolverines to deal with Collier. I don't think I don't think they're equipped to really have somebody that's going to be physically able to stop him from making an impact on his game.
He's a big receiver.
Yeah. So, but the Wolverines, I mean, if some kind of way offensively, they can make something happen. I'm not sure, but I just think the Saints have a better. The odds are better, and definitely in the favor of the Saints to me. So I think
that's crazy.
Yeah,
because I didn't even think about. I don't look at the matchup before we record, and they've not played each other, and we don't have any comparables.
Yeah,
because the Wolverines haven't played in 2 weeks apparently, so we don't even know what the Wolverines are going to look like after that break.
Yeah, we don't know if there's some changes happening.
You know what? Maybe some of the women are playing on their team now. They champions. They bring in that championship mentality.
Go get Nelly them to play DB. They got to do better than what's going on now. So.
Oh wow, that's tough. That's tough.
They can use a corner. Somebody call Nelly. Tell her to come play corner for the men's.
Nelly Mock, we'd like to invite you to play corner for the Helsinki Wolverines men's team. They need you out there. That's tough.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the interesting aspect and the storyline. What about a matchup? Like, is it just the quarterback play for you in this one, or is there something else? Or you said it right, the secondary.
Yeah, secondary. I think the Saints win in that battle. I just think they have. I mean, you got three. You got Newell, Collier, and what's his number 80, 20, 20?
Tuomi, yeah. Kimmy Tuomi.
Yeah. I mean, that three against what's on the other side. Yeah. It's gonna be hard for them to deal with that.
Yeah. And another crazy thing is, Alvin Reels is out there, and I still believe he's still top linebacker in the league. We just haven't seen him play recently. And then they have a good defensive line. They have a good linebacking core for the Wolverines. We've said this before too, that their defense isn't bad.
Yeah.
But the Saints proved last week they don't even have to run the ball. Like, they rarely ran the ball last week, and offense was moving. And if you're not running the ball, I don't know if the Wolverines secondary can handle that type of onslaught. Like, it's one of those situations. I think that their secondary can make plays, but I don't think they're going to be able to make them that consistently, like every down. And then look, like you said, I think the size of those guys, like Tuomi's a big receiver, a big tight end receiver type. Collier's bigger than him, and that's your outside receiver. And Dejan Newell, he's not a large receiver type, but he is quicker and faster than most.
Yeah, he's a threat in there in the spot. So.
Yeah. And then the other guy, Olakoski. Oh, no, not Olakoski. Uotala, Raphael Uotala showed back up this week, number 13. And rumor about him is, he's one of the fastest players in the league. And he's another tall body. And that's the thing that kind of worries me when you look at the Wolverine secondary. They got one tall corner. The one young kid is a tall corner, but most of their secondary, you're looking at 5'10", 5'11" guys.
Yeah.
While I'm looking at it, you take Dejan Newell out, and you got 6-footers all across the board for the Saints. That's hard. That's hard to match up against, because it means if you're even with them, you're behind. They got you by half a step. It's more like 2. It's a big difference when they have that height difference out there. So it'll be interesting to see what the Wolverines try to do. I think if I was them, I'd definitely bring pressure, make Jesse work for it. But he's proven he can work for it. But that's something you got to prove every week. And even with the left tackle that I talked about, number 65, he still had to move around a lot. So I think that if they can find a way to get pressure in there against him, maybe something could happen. I'm just, trying to be, optimistic that it's a good game. Yeah. Hopefully it's better than a blowout. So maybe the Wolverines show up and do something that we don't expect. Who knows? All right. Third game. Kuopio Steelers versus Senioka Crocodiles. Another game with another team that we ain't seen in I don't know how long. I almost forgot that Kuopio Steelers played in the league. I ain't seen this team play in who knows how long.
Look, let's say this, and this is before we get into this game, but it's safe to say. I'm just throwing this out there. It's safe to say Butchers, Roosters,
Steelers. That's where we felt, but we just haven't seen them play in so long now. Like a lot has happened in the last 2 weeks, and they haven't played. Like I said, the Wolverines haven't played since the 17th. Steelers haven't played since the 19th. So it's been 2 weeks. Don't know what to expect from them. Playing against the Crocodiles, who are coming off a tough win. But a tough win is sometimes a good win because you're active, you know what worked, what didn't work, and you haven't really taken a break. And I don't think they're beat up from that game either. Mm-hmm. So in this one, what's an interesting storyline or question you have for either of these teams?
And this is Steelers Crocs, right?
Yeah, Steelers Crocs.
You know what? The defensive line, this is going to be the trench game. I think this is a trench game. The Steelers' success in this game offensively is going to be strictly based off of how good their offensive line plays. And the reason I say that is because in order for the Steelers to have success and back the Crocs off of trying to get the Greenfield, it's going to be no O'Connell. O'Connell coming. Him and Coleman coming. And how does the Steelers offset that? And I think this is a game where Ethan Greenfield will be a big part of doing that. I think you have to give him the ball early because now you need O'Connell and Coleman to help on the run game. But I think you force it. I think you force them to back off by running the ball. And that'll open up the pass. But I know Madley got a plan for it. But it's going to be important D-line play and offensive line play for both teams to have some success. So I think the Steelers are, like I said before, I think they are getting better. The Crocs, they're getting better also. They just showed in this game that they know how to buckle down and score points and put themselves in a situation to win the game. So I think this is probably going to be another game like what the Crocs just played. I think the Steelers and them are going to be a good matchup. I'm not going to say who I think is going to win yet, but I think overall the Steelers have a great chance of continuing doing what they've been doing. But I think having seen them play in a week, but hey, we'll see. You know what I'm saying? But I think that offensive line and D-line are going to be very important in this game.
I always like having you talk about it first because that gives me time to think about what I really think will happen. And you kind of convince me sometimes. I agree that I think it's definitely going to be in the trenches. That's how this game is won. But just to go a little bit different way, I'm going to put more of the pressure in this one on the Steelers defense and stopping Deontay Sip. And the reason I'm going to go that way is I feel like what we've seen from the Crocodiles is an offense very, I want to say, pro style, if that makes sense, in terms of philosophy. Like, they pass the ball well, but they run the ball.
Yeah.
They run the ball, and that's their bread and butter. And watching the offensive line play, their offensive line is better at run blocking than pass blocking. They prefer to run block. They got some hog mollies down there, and them boys don't like to kick step. They rather go forward. It's a lot easier to move all this forward than it is to move it backwards. And that's how the Crocodiles like to run their offense. And I think this is one of those games where we're going to have to see the Kuopio Steelers defensive line step up a little bit more than we've seen this year. I think when you think about it, we haven't talked much about the import on the edge, number 9, Sale. I can't remember his first name, saved my life. But we haven't talked about him much because Callahan is kind of the guy for them, and he's at the linebacker position. I think the Crocodiles are going to have enough to get to that linebacker position. And getting there means you got to go through the D-line. There's got to be some up front. I haven't seen much. I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say I haven't seen much. I've seen a decent amount. I just don't remember it because it's been 2 weeks from the Steelers. I don't want to just act like I haven't seen them. I just haven't seen them in a while. But when I did last see them, I think their D-line was good. Linebacking core, really good. I love Callahan. I think he's a go-get-the-ball type of guy. Secondary, underrated, but good. I think their secondary can handle. But I'm not 100% sure that this D-line is going to win enough so that that Deontay Sip isn't getting that 3 or 4 pop. And what happens is what we've seen before. Let them keep getting 3 or 4 pop all game. Eventually, one of them going to go out there. Or a couple of them might go out there. And then you're in the situation where if your offense isn't doing well, you put them on hey, we got to score to catch up situation. So I'm gonna put it on the defensive line from the Kuopio Steelers. I think their defensive line is gonna have to be the difference in this one. But I also think however Deontay Sip does in this game will determine what the Crocodiles do, if they're gonna win or lose this one for sure. I guess
Does it matter? Go ahead.
What do you mean?
I was going to ask you something else on the outcome of this game because, like you said, like we were saying, with it, let's say nothing changes as far as where they sit right now, or what if something do change? What if the Crocs are 4, Steelers are 3? They're doing the best 4 teams, right, for the playoffs.
Yeah, but
they're doing the best 4 teams.
Yeah, there's a difference between playing the Roosters or the Butchers in the first round, though, and that's what you're basically fighting for.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So they still gonna do 1 against 4 or 2 against 3. That definitely plays a part in the chances anyway. So, but I was just thinking about that while you were talking. I was just like, man, if the Steelers and the Crocs are in that same spot, which spot would you rather be in? So as far as these games that are, they coming down to, but definitely playing each other, you're like, all right, the chances of us right now playing each other in the playoffs is probably not going to happen. So we only really have to deal with y'all
once.
You know what I'm saying? So it's
but I would say even this part, because with the way the schedule has been, and I'm literally looking this up on the website as we look. The Crocodiles have been playing a lot, and then we basically didn't see the Wolverines and the Steelers for the last 2 weeks. Does that mean the Crocodiles are due for a break here pretty soon?
They should be.
After this game?
Yeah,
no, they're not.
They're
not. Because it says they play on the 9th, and then they play on the 15th. That's 6 days later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then they play on the 23rd. That's 7 days later.
Oh yeah, so no break.
Yeah. Because what I was thinking was, if I'm either of these teams, yes, I want to win this game, but then I want to look and say, okay, how is this going to affect the rest of the games I have? Is this last game for the Crocodiles? I feel like they've played a lot of games, and there's a lot of film out on them because of that.
Yeah.
And they've played good games. So for them, this game is going to be more about, all right, whether we win or lose, we're probably not going to play this team again. How much do we show? And the next week you're playing against the Roosters, who, let's be honest, that's who you want to play in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And if you had to choose, you'd rather play the Roosters, and next week that's who you're going to be playing.
Yeah.
So you have to see, what am I going to show this week to that team, knowing that they have East City Giants.
Yeah.
So they ain't got to show nothing, and they play on a Thursday. So I think for the Crocodiles, this is a tough game, because I think for the Crocodiles, this is a game that you lose and don't feel bad about losing.
Yeah.
If they lose, they're already in 4th place, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I think they're already in 4th place by the standings. And if they lose this game, I guess they technically would be. Oh no, they're in 2nd. They're in 3rd place by the standings. Sorry.
So the Crocs 3rd place by.
Yeah, because they play more games. They're 5-2.
Well, either way, like you said, if they lose, then they still don't.
Yeah, if you lose, you drop to 4th. But if you win, you stay where you are, and maybe you go to 2nd. I mean, if the Roosters win and they win, they still would be in third.
Yeah.
So if you win, you're still in third.
The switch is probably gonna happen. The Roosters probably gonna win, and
yeah. But even if you lose, you still have a chance to get back into that third spot when you play against the Roosters.
Yeah.
And then your last game is the Royals. So
Yeah.
I mean, for them, I mean, they have Steelers, Roosters, Royals. That's a tough way to end the season. Because honestly, those you really think about it, they got to win.
Yeah, they got to win.
You don't because those are the three teams that you would have to have tiebreakers against.
Yeah,
all three of those teams, because those are the teams that are all right there at second, third, fourth, and fifth. Oh, that's tough.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, considering that the Saints game wasn't easy, this is a tough part of their schedule for them. So, if they were to lose, I wouldn't hold it against them as they're out of it. They're not going to be able to they're not going to be able to play tight. But if they win, I think that's going to say more about the Steelers, who had 2 weeks off and should be well rested and have a lot of film, because the 2 weeks that they didn't play, the Crocs have been playing. So it'll be an interesting one, definitely. And I think it's in Kuopio.
Mm-hmm.
That's always an interesting place to go play on that grass field. All right, let's get to the next one. All right, last game of the weekend is going to be Porvoo Butchers versus Wausau Royals. Do we think this game is even worth turning on the TV for? What do you think?
No.
Hold on. Before we say anything, I forgot to say this earlier, but after the last game and the way the season started for the Royals, they started 3-0. Now they're 4-3. We keep receipts. What happened to that energy that I don't want to say Alpha. The energy Alpha showed us by tagging us in the video after they beat the Roosters that first time, the beginning of the season. They were undefeated. It was like, oh yeah, we're undefeated. And we were clapping for them, congratulations. I'm just not seeing the same energy, guys. I'd like to see that same energy,
Hey, it hit different. It hit different
yeah.
when them losses. When them losses come up, it hit different there.
It's crazy, right? It's crazy. I don't want to get too petty, but
hey, they say, nobody remembers what happens in September. They only remember what happens in December and January. So that's playoff. For the NFL, it's playoff time. So you can have the best start ever and then get humbled real quick. But I know Alpha is just hyped. He just trying to just shoot at us. But yeah, man, it's been a long season. It's been a long season for the Royals, boy.
Let's see. They beat the Roosters in week 2, and they beat them 9-7. Okay, they beat them 9-7 in week 2, and that was June 14th, and they were 2-0 at that point, and now they're 4-3. And in the last month of games, they lost 48-0. They beat East City Giants by 11. By 16. Never mind. That's not bad. They got dusted by the Steelers, 36-7. Dusted by Sinayoki, 21-2. So, yeah. Every playoff team they played, they've got dusted by. And they beat the Saints 21-13. So, what do you think about this one? They're playing the Butchers now for the first time, looks like, this season, and the only time.
Hey, good luck. Good luck, guys. That's all I can give you this week. That's all I can give you this week. I just hope let's go out there, hurry up and lose and come back. That's the only pep
hurry up
talk
and
I
lose
got
and
for
come
you.
back.
Hurry up and lose and come back, boy, because it ain't much you can do. If your quarterback is still playing the way that he's playing, it's going to be over real early. And I'm sure the Butchers. I'm sure the Butchers are just itching to run the scoreboard up again.
Oh boy,
So
and with the way the Royals always throw interceptions, I just hope that they realize who they're playing. Like the Butchers, they play for keeps. Like Mickey J not catching the interception and going down.
yeah, he's trying to
Zach
score
Wright
every
not
chance.
Zachary Wright's not catching the interception and taking a knee. Like Jalen Todd ain't finna like them dudes. If you throw a pick, which you probably will, they're putting up 6 on you. So that's a 14-point swing when you throw that interception.
Yeah,
Not only are you not scoring, you're giving them a score.
you better run the
That's a
ball.
huge swing.
You
Yeah,
better run
I
the
was
ball.
gonna say the analytical side of me says you definitely, if you're the Royals, you want to be running the ball, hand it off to Swosty as many times as possible, take your time on the clock. But then the humanity side of me says, if I'm Tom Swosty, I stay my ass at home. You take this one off, buddy, because you don't want that. Like
Hey,
it ain't worth it, Tom. It ain't worth it.
yeah.
You
Tell your
stay at home.
quarterback.
Let the young kid go out there and just get hit over and over and
Yeah.
over for 4 quarters. No offense, but he I mean, I think Tom deserved to take the week off. You go hang out somewhere. Go hang out with your people, man. Royal, see you next week. See you after this. Because and if all the receivers, I mean, y'all can go to the game, but y'all need to learn how to block. We need to go double tight.
Yeah.
I think if they went in there lined up double tight, a little bit of wing T offense, bring in Alpha every once in a while, they might be able to keep it respectable.
Hey, run the clock to 1 every time before you run a play.
Yeah, don't
Every
play
time.
no chances with the clock. You got to do that.
Yeah.
I do. I'm trying to think of like ways to make this sound interesting, but like you said, it's gonna be a slaughter. But if it's not a slaughter, that'll be good.
Yeah.
No, it won't. That'll be bad because that'll make
Good
any
luck,
sense.
guys.
Good luck. Shit. Sorry. There maybe if they kick it to Alpha, I don't think he's gonna score against that defense. And also, I think the Butchers are one of the teams that'll be smart enough not to kick it to him.
Yeah. Nah, they won't.
Like I think sometimes it just doesn't make sense. Like the Roosters kept kicking to him last week. And I was like, why take the chance? It's not like I guess it's an ego thing, but for me, I've seen enough that I'm not going to kick to him, not because I'm scared of him, but because I don't want to take the chances of a sport that is built on chances.
Yeah.
Like it's a very like flukish sport. Stuff happens. Why take the chance when you can easily kick it away from him and get very similar outcomes without putting everybody on pins and needles every play? I think the Butchers will probably do something along that, or they'll have an ego and kick it to him, and he'll somehow figure out a way to score. I do remember the last time that I was in Porvoo and I saw the Royals play against Porvoo, that audible gasp happened in Porvoo. What was last year or year before? They didn't have it could have been last year. They didn't have a good offense, and they threw like a screen or something to Alpha. He made like 8 people miss, then the whole stand go, and then he ended up getting tackled, luckily. But why do that to your fans? Why do that when you could kick it to somewhere else? I don't know why you would do that. That's craziness. But yeah, this one's probably gonna be a route. We get out of here. All right, that's it for this episode of American Football in Finland. Q, any last words before we get out of here?
No, we almost heading on down the last little few games, man. So it's time for everybody to tighten up before they make them runs.
Yeah, contrary to what I thought before the season, it's actually I feel like the ending is going to be very unique because I think 1 and 2 are kind of set. I really feel like we know they are.
Yeah.
But 3, 4, 5, I feel like the Saints might ruin a couple seasons at the end. I think that is the interesting wrench, is that the Saints might be able to get some win, might be able to beat somebody that we weren't expecting them to beat at this point in the season. So other than that, it should be good. So good luck to everybody next week. We'll be back here next week again on the AFF podcast. Make sure you subscribe, follow, like, and share on all social channels at American Football in Finland. Until next time, never forget. I got it.
F.
We go. Oh, yeah, we out of here.
We out of here.
So